Hey guys, it's your favorite gold miner, prospector, and geologist, Jeff Williams. And today we're hunting for lode gold, and I'm gonna show you how you can extract it out of this hard rock without hardly any effort. Or if you have giant boulders in the creeks and you're looking for gold underneath it. You know what we're doing today, yeah? So let's get into it. Now, if you remember on my last video, we took you up to some beautiful areas that have specimen gold, just absolutely gorgeous. But the problem is, it's inside of that really hard igneous rock. So I'm gonna show you how you can drill and pop it today. It's really simple and it's legal. Now, if you haven't seen that video, I'm gonna leave a link right here. That way, if you're not familiar with it, you can watch it and get up to speed. Ooh, so let's get in to get that gold, because I gotta have that gold. Go! Here's some more right here. You see that? Look at all these inclusions of iron. And there's some lichen. That's called lichen. And that's lichen right there. I'm liking that. But that vein doesn't look as good as the other one. No, it just peters out. There's the other spot. Look how red that is in there. Isn't that nice? Look at the size of the iron inclusions in here. They're just monstrous. Beautiful vein running through this gneiss. This is gneiss right here. Oh yeah, look at this. You remember this? Look at all those inclusions of iron in there. Just gobs and gobs of it. And this is where we're getting those targets, and up around the side too. And whenever you see these types of infills in this gneiss with all these inclusions like iron in it, go ahead and do a soil sample down around the bottom. If you have any type of color or gold in there, you need to get into that vein. And that's what we're gonna do today. All right, now I brought my Gold Bug 2 because it runs at 70 kilohertz and it's great for finding that really tiny lode gold. I also brought the Gold Monster 1000 too, just to see how it's gonna handle this hot ground. There's that big old honker of iron. So if you find areas like this and you want to be able to get into the vein without killing yourself, or you find large boulders in a creek and you know that there's gold under it because it's sitting on bedrock, you can literally drill into these rocks and blast them out. Now, I'm going to show you how to do that, and it's completely legal. And I'm going to walk you through all the steps, so if there's any confusion out there, you'll know what to do. And I'm going to give you alternatives to what we're using today if you need something a little bit bigger. Yeah. All right, so let's get into it. And don't get me wrong, I love that Gold Bug 2. It's great on that super small gold. Right now, I'm just doing a quick preliminary. Wow, that's really loud. And it's shooting over the gold a little bit. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and dig it. That's really loud. And it's shooting over the gold just a little bit. Now be careful when you're doing this, because when you hit that cable, you're gonna get a false signal. Something. I bet you it's iron. Yeah, let me check. Yeah, hear that pong sound? That's iron. But that sounds really good. All right. Yeah, I know, hush. Good. Out. Out. That sounds good. Remember, always wear gloves too. Come on, baby. I know there's gold here. But that could be a big honk of iron. All right, let's see what we got here. All right. I like to tap it to get anything heavy to drop to the bottom. Ooh, he's an ugly looking piece of gold. Look at that thing. He's ugly looking, but I'll take him. That's always a good sign, huh? Let me see if I can get him out. Nice. Come on, get out of there. Make sure there's nothing left. Oh, that's nice. Look at that. It still has all the host rock on it too. You see that? And that's why I always say, chip out down around the bottom. Yeah, I know I was here before and I probably knocked it loose. Got to come up here with a dry washer. That would be the next step after you remove this vein. Dry wash the soil. Or if you have access to a wash plant, scoop it all up in 5-gallon buckets, run it through a wash plant. Oh, that's so good. Look how rough it is. Jeez. Holy cow. That's super rough. It's crystalline. Here's a mistake I've made. I forgot to bring a container to put this in because I was just going to bag this stuff up. Now I got to find something to put this in. Come on! Let that be a lesson. Make sure you bring a container. Anything. A pill jar, a snuffer bottle, something. Oh, and don't put it in your pocket. I've had too many guys that I've known personally put it in there, there's a little hole, and it falls out. I know. Stop all this jaw jacking, Jeff. We want to see you pop that vein. I want to pop that vein, but I gotta have that gold too. Now, in this application, I'm using what's called a Sierra Blaster. And there are other systems out there like the Micro Blaster, the Boulder Buster, and even stem cartridges. And I'll leave links down below to all this stuff. But they all pretty much are the same thing. Now, these don't use explosives at all. All this is a propellant. That's why it's completely legal and you don't need a license. All you have to do is take an online certification course and you're in like Flynn. So the only thing that makes this work is compression. And I'll talk about this a little bit more later on about the different types. I know. Get in there, Jeff. Drill those holes and pop that rock. I can hear it from here. Here's our vein that we're attacking, right? Now, when you go to drill and blast anything, remember it's like slicing bread, okay? Keep that in mind as your analogy. You gotta have some place for that piece of bread to go when you go to cut it, right? If you cut a piece of bread in the middle and try to get it out, it ain't coming out, you gotta have somewhere for it to go to. Now, there are all different types of blast patterns, and I've covered that in another video, and I'll leave that link somewhere here. That way you can watch all that good stuff. But for right now, we're just gonna drill in from the top, kind of like a bench blast. We're just gonna pop it out in the front. And I'll show you how that works, and then we'll get up on the top here and pop him too. And I'll get into more detail about how you use this stuff more effectively. Make sure you bring multiple bits. Start with a small one, go to intermediate, and then to the long bit. That way they stay cool, you don't wear them out as fast, and in case you get one stuck, you got another one, because yeah, they do get stuck. Now, when you get a Sierra Blaster, it comes with this little red tube and a hand pump. Now, the hand pumps have been known to break, so I don't like bringing them out here. So what I've done is I've attached it to a vacuum line, the same thing that I use to clean the bedrock. And that way, if I do see any areas that I want to clean bedrock, I've got the tool right here. Do you see how that works? That way, I knock out 2 birds with 1 stone. But what I do is I attach it to the end of the hose and I stick it in the hole and I suck out all the dirt. The reason why that's important is because if you get too much fine powder in there, it's gonna lock that drill bit up, and that's no bueno. You wanna make sure that you keep that dust out of there, okay? And when you're done drilling, you gotta make sure there's no dust in there, because when the charges go off and there's all that soft space in there, they're just gonna thump and it ain't gonna do anything. If you really wanna get into this stuff, you can get what's called a hollow core from DeWalt, and we've used them extensively in our drift mine, and these are beautiful. But once again, you need a vacuum on it because it's sucking up all the cut-ins through the center of this giant massive bit, and they come in all different sizes, so you can drill holes in it, it'll suck them out clean. You don't have to worry about all this mess, but you do have to bring some kind of vacuum cleaner with you, and they work with SDS Plus and SDS Max. That's the cool thing. I know, get on to drilling that hole, Jeff. Stop all this jaw jacking about technicality. Well, I just think you guys should know this stuff, because if you're gonna be out here, I hate to see you get started and you say, gee, I wonder why my bit got stuck. That's because you got dirt in the hole, that's why. What the heck was that? Did you see that? It just fell right on through to the other side. Imagine if there's a cavity in there filled with gold. Oh. All right, let's try here. Let's get on to vacuuming that out. wonder what's down in there. Now, another thing you're gonna need if you're gonna be serious about doing this is you gotta have some kind of a tamping rod. I know you're thinking, Jeff, you're not working with stick powder or packaged emulsion. Yeah, I get that. But trust me, you'll need one, and I'll show you why. I like to get a 4-footer. So right now, this is the depth of my hole. I need to know how deep that hole is. Because if there's an overhang or something, I don't want to pop out the bottom. Remember, the rule of thumb is if it's a freestanding boulder, you want to go 1/2 to 2/3 down into the very center to get maximum blast effect on that freestanding boulder. If you're in a working phase, you want to get in as far as you can, but not to bottom out, because if you have any airspace below, then the charges don't work. Remember, they work off the principle of compression. It's just a propellant. That's all it is. But it needs compression like black powder. Working faces are different because you need to cut a relief like a wedge cut or a burn, just like you do in conventional blasting. But for some reason, I hit a pocket in there, and these don't work on pockets. Now, I might be able to fill it up with water, but I have a feeling the water is just gonna pour out, and that's another technique you can use. So when you measure these heads, remember, you don't want them to bottom out on this plate, so you need to keep this distance in mind and the distance of the charge. So your primary charges look like this. Ain't that cool? Almost looks like a blasting cap, don't it? But it ain't. It's not a blasting cap. And this little guy sits on the end of here. And this long metal tube acts as a stem. And if you use boosters that go on the end, you need to take that into account. So right now, I need a hole, if I'm just gonna use this, that's that deep. No more, okay? And you wanna get it in as far as possible. Yeah! No jokes out there, I can hear it already. Sound like a whole bunch of drunk college professors hanging out at a sorority house. And if you put any boosters in there, you have to take that into account too. Don't want it bottoming out, but you want it in as deep as possible. Stop that. All right, so I'm gonna keep drilling until I can get one of these in and maybe a booster, okay? God! What the heck? It just keeps going on through to the other side. All right, fine, I'll pop this guy, because there's a hollow chamber in there. I'll figure out a way to pop it. Don't you worry, okay? Keep them pants on. But I'll pop this guy instead. Look at that. It's coming up black. That's solid iron. See all that fine powder in there? Don't throw it away. No, you're gonna hold on to that and pan it out. Use a lot of jet dry in your water and check with a jeweler's loop, okay? Or handling, because there might be fine gold in there. And that's how you can tell right away if you're hitting the mother lode. Drill in there and then pull the cuttings out and pan them. It's so simple. If you see a deposit and you're not sure about it and you don't want to spend a lot of time and money on, just drill into it, collect that munker up, pan it out and see what you got, because you might be sitting on the mother lode. You got a little slit inside of these stemming rods. The reason why is that's where your wire goes. And you're gonna need to clean that out, because when this goes off, it's gonna generate a lot of heat. It's gonna melt that rubber. It's gonna get stuck in that little groove. All right, so that's how deep I am right there. See that? So I got enough room to put at least one booster in there. See that? I might be able to do 2 boosters. That's why it's important that you bring one of these. Now, I know a lot of guys, they'll just use the vacuuming tube to use as a measuring tool, and you can do that. But I like using this stick right here. Why? Because sometimes these little guys get stuck. So you just cram them in with this tamping rod. It's really simple. Oh, and I got something really cool that you're gonna wanna see. So just keep your pants on. Oh yeah, there's one. Down you go. Make sure he's all the way at the bottom. There's 2. Oh yeah, you get in there good. And there's one over here. Oh yeah. And there's 2. Yeah, just like that. When you get the Sierra Blaster, it comes with these cool connectors, huh? Isn't that cool? But the problem is that most of the Sierra Blaster machines, they have a trigger switch on them that requires 120 volts because of the bridge wire inside of that first charge is so thick. So a lot of guys have trouble with that because they got to connect these up in series, and then they got to hook it up to a long cord and then to a generator and a switch. But I'm going to show you an easier way to do this. Now, Sierra Blaster does sell one of these capacitor boxes. It's a little bit bigger, and you can only fire 3 heads in one shot, no more, because it doesn't generate enough joules of energy. Not the family joules. You can get one of these little guys right here. This produces 7.9 joules of energy, which is plenty of power to run through that system and ignite those bridge wires. And that's what we're gonna do. And this is a lot lighter than carrying all that other stuff out here in the field. And then just link them all up and hook them into a wire on the top of your heads, and you're good to go. I'll show you what that looks like. And make sure you put rocks on top of the firing heads to help stem the holes. This will hold hold them in place when those charges go off so they don't want to pop up out of the hole. But I'm not going to do anything until you smash that like button. Smash it hard! Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! Fire in the hole! Make short order work of this stuff. Look at this. This is nothing. Split these monkeys, get inside here. It exposed a beautiful section of vein right here. And so what I'm gonna do is I'll clean all this out. Gonna scoop it up, put it into bags, sample bags, real sample bags, not a backpack. And then we're gonna take it back and I'm gonna scan the pieces and I'll show you what kind of gold I found. Ooh, yeah, baby! And don't forget, at the end of each month, we give away a brand new Gold Monster 1000 metal detector, bags of pay dirt from our drift mine, and silver bars. And if you want to get involved with that, all you got to do is look for the little icon at the end of the video that looks like that. You're going to click on it, make a $10 pledge, and you're in like Flynn. And I'll see you on the next video.